Um, so welcome, everyone, and thank you for waiting patiently for us to start. It's good to see so many people here, bang on time. Marigold, I don't know what you did, but you have a very punctual following, so fantastic. Um,
Amen.
yeah.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
welcome everyone to one of our monthly speaker and networking sessions here at Melanin Rich. I'll take a couple of minutes just to remind everybody about what Melanin Rich is about, and I'll also take a minute or two to introduce our lovely speaker today, Marigold. But to get started, Melanin Rich is uh, has been born out of a dream to support entrepreneurs that don't routinely see role models in the wider community. Or sometimes we face disadvantages due to our backgrounds or due to where we're based. And it's therefore more difficult to run our businesses, to scale our businesses, to actually generate the results that we want. So, our mission is to empower African led businesses so that we can scale not just locally, but globally, and we can build inclusive economies. So, we're here to scale thousands of African led businesses, to amplify our voices, and create a new generation of role models across the globe. We're creating a vibrant ecosystem of support and collaboration and empowerment for entrepreneurs of African descent. And we're providing the tools, connections, and confidence that help us to solve global challenges, to grow sustainably, and thrive with authenticity. We are a force to good. We're rooted in transparency. We're driven by optimism. So, we're not victims. We are optimists and we believe in the power of the community. What we want to achieve is a world where African led businesses are celebrated as global problem solvers, we're role models, and we're engines of inclusive prosperity. We'll create a thriving ecosystem where entrepreneurs of African descent, whether we're on the continent or whether we're in the diaspora, we all collaborate, we innovate, and we lead with authenticity, wellness, and purpose. And to do that, what do? We support you by providing training, we help to secure funding, we create partnerships, we provide advice, networking, mentoring, market entry, and support with personal wellness. So if you're yet to join, please do join. We'll put the link in the chat so that you can join the organization. And if you've got any questions at all, please reach out to myself or to Rama or to any of our founders, and we will all work out together how we can all flourish together. So enough about Melanin Rich for a second. The last thing I talked about us doing there was about our personal wellness. And Marigold is the founder of Golden Wealth, wealth with a W as well as a H in there. She's a nutritional therapist, she's a life coach, and she's got more than 35 years in mental health nursing. She I mentioned the name with a W in there because her name is about wealth and wellness being very much connected. And she empowers people that are seeking to enhance their health and their well-being and achieve their optimum level of performance using all of the skills that she has gathered over the years. Marigold has had a very keen interest in natural living and healing from early childhood. When she was born in Zimbabwe, and as she was growing up, she learnt a lot from watching her grandmother, who is a natural healer, who used natural herbs and the ancestral diet to bring the health and healing into anybody that's ill in the community. So she learned from that by watching and helping. And she's basically brought that with the learning that she's had as a registered nurse into her passion for natural healing. So, without much further ado, I would like to give you Marigold Katsande, who is going to talk to us today about how we can empower ourselves through health and ensure that we've got the right level of health to create the right level of wealth. Thank you, Marigold. Over to you.
Thank you, Ola. Greetings, everybody, from all the four corners of the world which you are tuning in from. Thank you very much for taking your time out to join us. I know we are very busy people as entrepreneurs. As Ola has said, almost everything I can say about myself, and I can add on to that we were dealt also illness and very severe eczema in our eldest child, who tomorrow turns 36 years old. So when he was born, Wasim Simbarashe had very severe, from the age of 3 weeks, started showing signs of eczema, which became really, really disfiguring. And we were in and out of hospital. And in searching for a cure for him, I came across nutritional therapy. It was the only really effective way that really helped him in start his healing journey. Before that, we had tried homeopathy, Chinese herbal remedies, you name it. We tried a lot. The orthodox, of course, we just given creams and antihistamines, and which didn't help, and the hydrocortisone, which I was very worried about because of its effects on internal organs as well as thinning the skin and causing all sorts of problems. So I was very fortunate that we found that before he even started school. So by the time he was 2.5, he was healing thanks to the nutritional therapy. And I stumbled across the nutritional therapist while searching for my own health problems. I used to suffer very, very severe constipation. And when I went to a colonic hydrotherapist, and she asked me if I had any children, because I went alone on that appointment. And I said I had one son, and she said, "What is his health like?" And I told her that he had severe. I told her he had severe eczema, and she said, "I'm not surprised." I said, "What?" So when I became very, interested when I saw that there was a link between my own health and my child's health. So what she was seeing coming or not coming out of me was telling her a lot. And of course, she had taken a great history. And I must say, up to that point, the only two liquids that mostly entered my body were coffee and lemonade, hardly any water. So, of course, my body was very dehydrated and lacking. And, of course, vegetables and fruit got a passing, mention or glance, mostly eating, starchy food, fatty foods. And so my diet was haywire. And I carried that child and conceived. And at 5 months of pregnancy, my doctor said, "You're not going anyway, I'm putting you on bed rest." I had so little energy. But all that, the dots are connecting, the jigsaw puzzle, the picture is becoming clearer about my own journey and how it is. So today it's about you. And if we can have the first slide, please, to my wonderful assistant, Nadia is going to share my slides for me. The first one, which is about health and mental well-being for entrepreneurs, opening slide. Thank you very much. I hope you can all see that. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. So yeah, entrepreneurship is often glamorized as freedom, flexibility, passion. But the truth is, founders, especially women founders, are operating under unprecedented pressure. And the mission of today's talk is to understand why, and most importantly, how to protect your mind, body, and long-term well-being while building something extraordinary. And if we can go to the next one, where we might, as a lot of you know, this gentleman, Steve Jobs, who unfortunately left this world young. And what he said was, Your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. So talking about your passion, and for most of us here, it's our business as well. So, and what's sad about Steve Jobs is he had loads and loads of money, but all that, his passing showed us that you can have all the money in the world, but without your health, because I do believe he passed away due to pancreatic cancer. But yeah, without your health is your wealth, which is why I named my business Golden Wealth, WHEALTH, because health and wealth are interlinked. We go to the next slide. Now, do some of you recognize this? I deliberately didn't put a title to it. Does anyone know what this is? It's called the Wheel of Life or the Circle of Life. I don't know if you can see quite clearly the different colors and different segments in this. We are, of course, we are business women. Or I don't know if there's any men on this line today as well. But we are business people. But of course, we have a lot of other different life segments going on at the same time as our businesses. We've got our physical environment where we live, our business and career, our finances, our health, our family and friends. And these we can even separate into family and friends. Some are blessed enough to have romantic partners. We have got, excuse me, right, the purple one, personal growth, and then we've got fun and recreation. So all these, and you could probably add more segments to this according to what's going on in your life. But all these, of course, impact our health and well-being. So as we go to the next slide now, why does all this matter? Why are we even here today talking about this? It's because founders are the engine of their business. Your energy, clarity, and creativity are your company's core assets. When your health declines, strategy suffers. Decision-making, it slows down and can stop. And innovation drops. Investors may fund your vision, but it's your vitality that powers your execution of it. Burnout doesn't just cost your well-being, it costs your business traction, how your business is viewed in the world, the culture and longevity of your own longevity as well as that of your business. The business can only grow as fast as the founder stays well. That's very powerful, and that's so true. Because the data is clear, 72% of entrepreneurs report mental health concerns at some point in their journey. 49%, which is half of the female founders, say burnout has directly impacted their business growth. 1 in 4 founders experience anxiety or depression linked to the pressures of entrepreneurship. And we got the source there where it's coming from. They are not, excuse me, these are not individual failures. They are systemic signals that the way we build needs to evolve. And because women founders face a double burden, women entrepreneurs often carry 2 full-time jobs or more, building the business and sustaining everybody else. And everybody else can be our family, our partners, if we've got our parents at, some stage, some of us to look after our parents, and sometimes even the grandchildren have come in. So you have everybody else. And you might even have friends who need your attention as well. They navigate bias, fundraising, marriage, family care, and face cultural expectations of emotional labor. This creates what experts and the entrepreneurial, this it creates what experts call the entrepreneurial health gap, the hidden cost of overperformance, the result, chronic stress, hormonal disruptions, fatigue, loss of focus, all of which silently erode the foundation of your work. Because health, let's just go, if I can see the bottom of this now. Yeah, because health, anyway, I beg your pardon. Anyway, Nadia, can you see the bottom of that one and help me? Because health, it's, anyway, you can see the impact that all our many hats that we wear will impact our businesses. That's the gist of all that. And, it doesn't matter too much about so much what was in the last bit, but you can see. And the next slide, please, Nadia. Yeah, the entrepreneurial health gap itself. What is it exactly? Why does this gap exist? We have talked about juggling many multiple identities: leader, caregiver, partner, community builder. A lot of us have got to high positions in different community groups we belong to, which can be spiritual or other community, groups. And this we all take on board on top of doing our business at the side. And it compounds and it can result in stress. Underfunding. I mean, if you compare us to our male counterparts, women have less funding, and as a result, overwork with less access to capital. Many women entrepreneurs operate understaffed as well. And because we're good at multitasking, we take on so much, increasing our cognitive and emotional load. Hormonal fluctuations amplify stress. The menstrual cycles, the perimenopause, menopause, all these directly impact our energy, our mood regulation, and our cognitive performance. So we are invisible labor anyway. We do, if we were to be paid for some of the things we do, to be honest, I mean, if men would be demanding a good pay from what we do, but we do unpaid as well. So we need time for recovery, and we need to normalize and be cycle aware, planning things, so when we know our monthly cycle, for those who still have it, younger women, we know that there's certain times when you are ovulating, producing the eggs, and there's times when you are, recovering, and also during the luteal phase, your body goes through cycles. It's creating, building up the egg, and then it's just the release of the egg, rather, from, because we're born with all the eggs that we carry in our lives. So you have to understand your body when we actually come, like just before period, a lot of women can start noticing significant changes in their mood, their energy levels, their motivation even to do things. And sometimes we are not understood. And on top of it, a lot of women also suffer from proper period problems, including fibroids, which I've had experience with myself, personal experience. And I was very sick to the point that I became so anemic. My hemoglobin level fell, which is supposed to be around 12 to 15. Mine fell to 4.4. And the doctors were amazed I was still breathing and being alive. I was fainting all over the place. And anyway, and also it's a lot of women. Sometimes we have male doctors, which is the case in my case. And I found it hard to open up and talk about my periods. And he hardly ever asked about my cycle, to be honest. And when I was very anemic, I was lucky that one day I had an appointment. I was seen by a locum female doctor who looked at me and said, "You're as pale as a sheet," straight away blood test. And that's what saved me. And I ended up having a transfusion. But anyway, because we don't prioritize, we might be getting all these symptoms and just ignoring them. So we need to prioritize and delegate early, not to wait for when, burnout is happening and then to start taking action then. We need to build support networks, peer circles, mentors, and even coaches, operator staff support. Like even today, you can see we are, the case in point is that Nadia is having to come to my rescue because if I start having a hitch with my own technology, which has happened today, I will start panicking and then nothing will happen. So, yeah, and we need to advocate for gender inclusive funding and mental health resources. And if we can go to the next slide, please, Nadia. So, yeah, because we already said we face unique health challenges and all that, so hormonal dynamics. It might seem like it's a repetition, but this is explaining why really this is about it happened. Some of these things do not affect men at all, but it affects us. So this health gap, gap isn't about personal weakness. It's about structural barriers that are there, some of which are beyond our control. So the key message to take away there is you can't operate like everyone else because you aren't supported like everyone else. That means your health strategy must be intentional. So you have to have to actually be very conscious and intentionally put in place strategies that can help yourself. And we move to the next slide, which is about closing the health gap, the strategies. What are they? Cycle-aware planning, we've said. So maybe your heavy tasks, depending what your business is, either if you find that your energy is better at certain times of your cycle, maybe take on those heavy tasks at a time when you are in better health and not struggling physically. And also even in the day-to-day cycle, you can see that maybe your energy is better in the morning. For some people, it's later in the afternoon after they've had a siesta, whichever way. And some people prefer to have a lie-in and start their day later. Some, it's better if they're early birds. And there's also, where your energy level is at its peak and do that anyway. And delegate early, as we've said, not wait till you are in crisis. Build supporting network, advocate for funding for mental health resources. Next slide, please, Nadia. So the stress and the mental resilience tools. The goal is not to eliminate stress. We cannot, we do need a certain amount of stress in our lives because it helps us to function, to motivate. Because if you remember, when we were living in the wild, we're talking now of our ancestors, we were experiencing these rushes in adrenaline and whatnot because we were just surviving from wild animals that could eat us. So we were always on the lookout and everything. So, but now today's stress is more in how we organize ourselves in our today's life. I mean, we have so many gadgets, but these gadgets can also create stress if we don't manage them correctly. There's so many demands on our time. There is just so much pressure to be earning and financially to be productive. And, there is so much pressure that we need to, but this stress we can manage. It's not about avoiding it, or we can't, but we can manage it well. The coping strategies and tools. So micro recovery moments, like 60 to 90 seconds, maybe a few times throughout the day. You take some time out. And also some tasks, it's said it's better to do your tasks like a task shouldn't take no more than 90 minutes. After 90 minutes, you go move to another task, and that helps a lot of people if you can. And of course, we talked about delegation. And then there's the 333 burnout check, which we will discuss more fuller in the next slide. And emotional buffer time around intense meetings. That means that before you're going to what is a very intensive meeting, you take some time out, even if it's 5 minutes, and there'll be techniques that I'll cover later about what you can do to help yourself in that time. And also after that meeting, and if in some organizations, if you are able to debrief and be able to let off any emotional stuff that would have come out of that meeting immediately, that helps. Reframing stress as well. It's capacity training, really, and it's not a failure to be stressed. Okay. The next slide, the 333 burnout check. So there's 3 signs of that will show that you are reaching burnout: fatigue, irritability, avoidance. We all know ourselves, and we know which one of those. If maybe sometimes it's all of them, maybe it's one. It's different time depending on the task. But I know, for example, myself, when I start to avoid something I'm saying, and it has to be done, I know it's my strategy about how I'm viewing that task that has to change, because if it has to be done, it has to be done. So the causes are overload, isolation, lack of clarity. And the 3 actions you can take is ask for help. It's not a weakness. I've underlined both the asking and the help there, because some of us have problem even asking. We think it's a weakness to ask. We can't even talk. We expect people to mind read, and they could be our family partners or our team, that they should see that this task need doing, I can't cope with it. But really, unless you ask, you talk, they might not know. And help itself, we think sometimes it's a weakness to need help, but it's not. It's a strength. And to simplify your workload. I mean, sometimes we can set ourselves goals which are way over the achievable stage. So sometimes some tasks you have to break them down into micro segments, really, and say you can, if something is a big task, chunk it down, break it into little manageable stages, so that you can, each task you can cope with, rather than trying to do the whole thing in a short space of time. So you need to set emotional buffer time, like we have already spoken about this intense, 10 minutes before. Even if it's 5, if it's 10, you do it. Reframe stress as a capacity train. You are building resilience. You are not failing at balance. Next slide, please. So that was the check. And now this is the actions. So the signs we already talked about. You will be snapping easily. Fatigue, and rest. If it doesn't, you don't recover from it, that means you are really in trouble. You're waking up tired, you're constantly drained, you're probably not even sleeping well. You need to have sleep hygiene. Snapping easily or feeling numb. Some people just shut out their, emotions completely when they are under stress. Avoidance, or another word I love, procrastination, because we put off things and keep saying, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it another day, next week, and that day we never comes. Or keep finding excuses, and we have to sometimes tell ourselves, Is this a reason why I shouldn't do X, Y, Z? Or is it an excuse? And if you're honest with yourself, sometimes you find some things you are putting putting off because you haven't built a managing strategy, and therefore it's better to avoid. So you start dodging calls or tasks or responsibilities, or even telling white lies to people when you know that's not true. So yeah, what it causes overload, too many tasks, tight deadlines. And the deadlines I've spoken about already, do things sometimes have to be shifted and spread around your team? Constant urgency, things like, it's got to be done, it's got to be done now, when it could, wait longer. Yeah. So the isolation is self-explanatory, doing everything alone. But we have a saying in my mother tongue, Shona, kugocha kunoda kwa mai kwemwana kunodzima moto, which means, if a child tries to roast something on the fire, the mother will immediately pounce upon them that they're doing it wrong. Only they can do it right. The mother, is the only one who can do it right. If a child tries, the fire will go out. That's literally translated. But yes, some of us think we are the only one who can do, and that kind of you have to know your personality type. If you are a perfectionist, you have to know that you can create stress for yourself unnecessarily, because there are some tasks which don't need pure perfection, but if they are done just good enough for the business to carry on and can be perfected later as things go along, that's probably better. And you can also give your staff learning opportunities as well for them to make mistakes and be able to correct them. Yeah, lack of clarity, unclear goals or blurred boundaries. The reset action of asking for help, we've spoken about. Simplify, prioritize, and focus on your top 3 essentials. Like this week, we know we are midweek now. Well, almost the end of the week. There's only tomorrow, or if your week ends on Saturday. But you can set yourself, what do I need to focus on even for next week? And schedule recovery, rest, nature, or joyful breaks daily, walking in nature. And I'll cover, some of these strategies later. So for homework for yourself and the reflection as well, which sign is resonating with you? So you tell yourself, what is resonating with me right now? Which of those signs we mentioned? Fatigue, irritability, emotional volatility. People can be so volatile, they just snap at the smallest of things. Or avoidance. Which of those are you doing? What is the root cause? And some of it can be, the cause can be somewhere else, and yet who you are victimizing is somebody else who is not connected to what is the cause of your burning out is, anyway. And what can I address today, right today, at the end of this meeting? What can I address of those? And what one reset action I would take this week, starting on, you have to be specific, give yourself a date to say, I'm going to start on this date. Because if you say, I'll start maybe next week, maybe it's got to be specifically when are you going to start for things to start happening, changing. So I'm going to the next slide. Yeah, your brain fuel formula and nutrition, which is my passion that I did. I told half a story. After we found the nutritional therapy cure for our son who had severe eczema, who I said is 36 years old tomorrow, I then became passionate, and I was being encouraged by all my therapists that I was seeing at the time. I should train in it because I had a natural knack for it. They could see something in me. I was passionate, really, and I did follow everything and saw improvements quite quickly in our son. So I trained as a nutritional therapist. Nutritional therapist. This is where my career started in that. But my background is mental health nursing, which this year actually is 40 years since I qualified as a mental health nurse. So your brain is your business, its most valuable asset. These are the principles you should follow in terms of your nutrition and focusing on brain function at optimum level and your energy, and with energy comes motivation to do things, isn't it? So you should have protein at every meal. And protein, and we know diet is better if we get our sources of nutrition from plant bases, not animal, or use animal products as little as possible. So slow releasing carbs, we all know about that. No refined white rice, flours, and sugars, and all these, especially in fast foods that we get. Healthy fats, because in fast foods we get unhealthy fats for cognitive performance. And we know that healthy fats are things like avocados, olive oil, and olives themselves, nuts and seeds, and flax seeds and flax oil, evening primrose oil, things like that will be good for the brain. And when the brain is happy, everything is happy in the body, because you're functioning at your optimum level, and you can cope with stresses and crises, and you're calm and collected and cool as a cucumber. So the entrepreneur brain fuel formula is for protein, fiber, healthy fat, and colorful plants. Eat a rainbow. In the morning, have your all the colors of the rainbow in fruit. You can find red fruit, and these are the colors of the rainbow in their order: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. In the UK or in England, I don't know how you memorize this, but there are different ways. But the one that I know they use in UK is Richard of York gave battle in vain. I think whoever this Richard of York, this king, was defeated. So Richard of York gave battle in vain. There is another, a religious one that I can't remember, about reading to do with Bible and stuff. But or whichever way you remember it, I just remember it's Roy G. Bevan. So what red, maybe you can put in the chat now, what red fruits, orange fruits, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet colored fruits you can think of. And also the same colors in vegetables. So ideally we should eat our fruit salad in the morning and have our vegetable salad before our main meal later. And ideally we should eat 2 meals, especially now it's winter in UK. Other places maybe you're in summer, but the day is longer, but here it's shorter now. So our body doesn't need all these 3 times meals a day. Some cultures even eat 1 main meal in a day and have snacks and a lot of water. So I will cover that later. So next slide, Nadia, I think an example of a rainbow like vegan meal, you can see this, my favorite avocado, there's some greens, there's some, looks like sweet potato on this side, there's some seeds and nuts and red onion and, so, and it looks very healthy and appetizing, and what's pleasing to the eye, the tummy will accept as well easily. So we'll move on to the next one. My favorite person again, Steve Jobs, what he said on nutrition there. Eat your food as your medicine. Otherwise, you have to eat medicine as your food. Well, sometimes we learn later in life what we should have, started, but it's never too late. It's never too late to start making changes that can help ourselves. And even Hippocrates, or if you pronounce him Hippocrates, the father of medicine, said to him, let food be your medicine, and your medicine your food. So, and And also another quote by somebody famous says about food that we should eat what goes off, but eat it before it does. Could be Henry Lindler, I think, who said that eat what goes off, but eat it before it does. So, that tells us to eat as fresh a diet as possible. Like at the moment, we are fortunate, I have an apple tree. So sometimes it's straight from the tree, the apple is in my tummy, and that kind of life, if we can try and do as much of it or dig up, whatever you can grow in your own garden organically, of course. Next slide is sleep or rest is not a luxury. It's a business strategy. So we need to have a power down hour before bedtime. And, 20 minutes of that, we should be closing down loops, any loose ends in our work. 20 minutes of hygiene, of actually looking, what do you do? What is your nighttime routine? Do you have a relaxing bath? Do you even meditate and have a relaxation session, put candles around, read something, you relax, and the nervous system needs calming down as well. But yeah, sadly as well, some people, if we're under stress at that time, maybe in the evening, say, oh, if you have family, they're going to sleep, now it's time for me time, and have a drink. We know that alcohol can also affect the nervous system. So in moderation, once in a while, in socially, maybe. But anyway, consistency beats perfection. I've already touched on that. So try not to worry too much about tomorrow. If you've done your work well and you've closed your loops, you've prepared for tomorrow, put all the things you need in order, ready for the next day, then you needn't worry. And I think for time how are we doing? Okay, we okay. I think more than halfway through my slides. So yeah, just this is a recap. 8 health habits every entrepreneur needs. Yeah, you need to know that your business shouldn't cost you your health. Healthy protein for energy, water before coffee, because the number of people who say, I need a cup of coffee early in the morning. Some even buy it from, these coffee selling places. And when you add up that money, honestly, you could be doing so much with it. And you need that strong coffee, Starbucks and whatever else you buy coffee from anyway. Minimum is like £3 or something, you're buying a cup of coffee. And the coffee will dehydrate you. For even a weak cup of tea, it also dehydrates, but tea not as much as coffee, but still. So people think, oh, as long as I'm taking liquids, I'm being hydrated. No, only water will hydrate your body. And I'll touch on that later. But so for every teaspoon of moderate strength tea that you would drink, say every tablespoonful of a tea, you will need 2 or 3 or even more. If it's stronger, like a strong coffee, teaspoons of water to make up the damage that you have caused. These are dehydrating, they steal water from your body. Actually, not good. Movement snacks, it doesn't mean that you're moving and eating snacks. It's taking movement breaks where you move around, and especially in nature, and later on I'll come into that. Eating an anti-inflammatory meal, or diet that, avoid all these foods which inflame the body, which we've mentioned, processed foods. But dairy products are most people can't tolerate. And by the way, cow's milk is meant for cow babies or calves, but we adult humans drink it. But the cows, funny enough, they don't come to us for milk for their babies. But anyway, we don't have the right enzymes to digest it. And if we're going to consume milk, it's got to be in an easily digestible form. But milk in general is mucus producing for the body. So this is where the inflammation comes from. So, like, what do I mean by easily digestible? Maybe really boiled milk. If you look at some cultures, they don't use milk raw like some of us do, just pour in a cup of tea or something. They boil their milk and cool it down and then take it. Or fermented, like natural yogurt. Some people, we can tolerate natural yogurt now and again. Cheese and other dairy products can be they're more concentrated in their milk, content, so they can cause more inflammation. Butter is a different thing because it's a fat from the thing, and it could be healthier than it. Well, definitely is healthier than these man-made margarines and artificial spreads that we do. And we all know that seed oils from seeds like sunflower and rapeseed and other seeds that we get oils from are not as healthy as, for example, coconut oil. I've mentioned olive oil. And palm oil is also good in moderation as well. So they are healthy. They even have avocado. But olive oil is best to use it cold pressed and not heat it up. You don't use olive oil for frying. You add it cold, so you can steam your vegetables, and when they're cooling down stage, add it. You can drizzle it in salads if you like. And there's other drinks you can make, especially when you're doing a liver cleanse, which I will not be covering in this session. A liver cleanse, and you need to use olive oil, and it's really effective in doing that. So power down our and self-compassion, really, thriving, not just surviving, but really thrive. Yeah. So next slide. Mindset and self-compassion. High performance is built on a kind relationship with yourself. And if you notice, I've highlighted you because in yourself there is you. In your family, I've highlighted and made capital of the I because there's I in a family. We belong to all these groups like family, teams, organizations. But in family, there's an I there. So you have to look after yourself, me, myself, I. And there's M as well in family, which I could have highlighted AM after the F with family. I am I. In a team, there's an M here. And in organization, we've got two I's in there. So it means even if you're in an organization, you've got to look after the self first before you look up, you can cope with anybody else. And in your business, there's you, and I put us, because in business, you're building teams, aren't we? So there's us, and there's I in there. So all these need compassion and not busyness, being busy, 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 busy. Some people can be very busy, but so unproductive. We all probably know some people who just always rushing around. But when you look at what they've done, and yet some people can just come within a short space of time, quietly, they make such impact. We should aim for that. And the tools are, CEO reframe. You just because you're CEO doesn't mean you have to do everything, like we already said. The 3-part self-compassion check in mind, body, and need. And scheduled white space is that time where you schedule time just for yourself, for your own personal needs, and that time is protected, must not be touched. You can, it's okay to say you are in a meeting when you are having a meeting by yourself, time for yourself. Or, sometimes if your family needs you, and you have to take time away from your business for that, which is why one of the reasons we're doing our own business, we want flexibility and, time to ourselves. So boundaries and balance is the next slide. Yes, balance isn't about doing less. It's about choosing better. We have to make the right choices that best benefit ourselves and our businesses. And there are different types of boundaries we can set. There's time boundaries, like you can have a meeting free afternoon or evening, depending on what your schedule is. Meeting free days, even. I don't know if you can have meeting free weeks, but yeah, we need to take holidays away from our businesses at time. Energy boundaries. So you have to align our tasks, as we've said, with our cycle, with our other things that might, drain our energy. Do you know one thing when I think about this as well? I find I really admire the system they've got in my home country, Zimbabwe. School teachers who are mothers who are breastfeeding, they work a 4-hour day. They start work at 8, at 12, they finish, and that's the end of their day, working day. They got to go home and breastfeed their child, and the rest of the day they're, and if they want to come back, if there's a sports day or something, but otherwise we know teachers take their work home. They're always planning and doing scheduling. But it's so family friendly, so child friendly system. And the rest of the school, usually it's 1 o'clock, school's finished, and then in the afternoons it's dedicated for sports and other activities. Because of course the brain is most energetic and most receptive earlier in the day when it's cooler. In Africa, I'm talking about generally it will be hotter in the afternoons and all that. So yeah, we need to be well nurtured as well. So emotional boundaries, clear communication without apology, And as a CEO, I mean, it's within your right to stipulate your laws and let things be very clear. And if you do effective delegation, you never have to be, watching over people. Once the training is thorough and efficient, you can save yourself a lot of time and have so much peace of mind once the training is right. I learned that from my mother, that she would keep a home help or housemaid or whatever you call them, nanny, for many, many, many years. When I think the one we had was about 20 years, the longest. But yeah, some of them are 15 years or more than 10 years. Yeah. Whereas some of her friends will be complaining, oh, this girl doesn't know that. But she said she's got so much experience, she's worked in many houses. And my mother would ask, have you trained her for what you want done in your own home? If you take out, half a day, you can train a house girl for everything. And then after that, they're okay. Instead of them, you assuming because they've got experience, they were doing what that household wanted. The experience in your own home is going to be different and unique according to your needs. So all our businesses have got different needs, and you have to learn also different strengths of your team. Who can you send to do what, and who is best at doing whatever task or whatever. There are different strengths in people and abilities, and some are keener to learn with the head, some are keener to learn by doing with their hands. So we need to know that. And then next slide is about the everyday health hacks. This is one of my favorite areas. So small, consistent habits bring profitable results. So helpful daily habits is just an example, but it works very well. It's a routine that, I follow in a certain order. So we could even say, but definitely most of us need to start our day quietly, whether we meditate or pray, whatever, before we even get up. The next thing we should do really it's going to be in another slide about fresh air and sunlight, letting them in. So we should open our windows and curtains and let air and, light in. Then you can do even breathing, breath research. You can do different cycles of breathing exercises 4 to 6 times in a day. And starting in the morning, you can start the first one while you're still lying in bed. There is an app which I love using called PQ Gym. P for Papa and Q for Queen, Gym, GYM. And yeah, the gentleman behind it has got such a soothing voice. His name is Shazad. And there's different exercises you can do. Some you're just doing deep breathing exercise while you lie. Some are stimulating the other senses, hearing, touch, sight, even smell. And so it really helps you to do little things. Now, tapping. Are you seeing me on the screen at the same time as the slides, or is my face not there?
We can see you.
Oh, good. So let's do this together. We've been sitting for so long. How long have I got now? 15 minutes, is it? Something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, we've got 15 minutes left. Yes.
Okay. Right. So we'll do this quickly, just a demonstration about tapping. This sometimes when you feel your energy is stuck, this is what you can do to help your energy moving. And also, if you do it daily habit and incorporate it in your daily functioning, you'll find that you will have a much more productive day. You'll be more focused. You'll not be so stressed. So tapping, there are books on this, and you can find out about it. So tapping, you'll be tapping. So as you are sitting, whether you're sitting or standing, we start. If you can just watch me, take your two fingers, the first and second middle finger, yeah, and start with the sides of your head, right, upper temples, yeah. So tap, we're gonna just do it 5 times because of time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then in the middle of the forehead, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Under the nose, there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can probably feel your energy start to move now. On the chin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do it 10 times or 15, 20 times. And then you go to the top of your neck here, below the neck, right, the top of your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For those who can go in between your breastbone or just under, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is my favorite one. It's also called the gorilla movement. You see why. And when I do this one, I find myself going on and on more than 5 or 20 times. So you make fists with your hand, and then in your armpits, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see why it's called the gorilla movement? Because the gorilla does that before it's going for a fight. It really energizes. This one really shifts my energy, I find, when I do that. So when you're feeling stuck, or even just to energize yourself for the day, it's very good to do this tapping. And then you come to the hands. Don't neglect the hands. You can do these 2 moves. Can you see my hand? You go, open your palms upwards and then tap the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you can also, or do either or both. Make, with the fingers of one hand, tap along the side, going all the way down one hand, and then do the same, the other hand. And then put your palms together and press your fingers together. This one is easy. I'm sure we've seen people doing this, whether they're doing a talk or in a meeting. This is very energizing as well. So you're pressing your fingers together from one hand to the other, and people do this when they're maybe even nervous or thinking. It seems to focus people, this. And then you can, then go up and down one hand with the other hand's fingers going like that. I always end up by clapping, thanking God. That one is good. Dry skin brushing. Got some things to show you later. Dry skin brushing you with a pure bristle brush. So I'll come back to that one, and because it's got diagrams. After you've done your dry skin brushing, and it should be your brush should always be dry, pure bristle, natural bristle, not nylon. It stimulates the lymphatic system. It stimulates the circulatory system. It gets rid of dead skin. We shed the new skin. Some say every 48 hours. It gets things moving in the body. It's very good for your circulation and your immune system because it stimulates the lymphatic. The lymphatic system in our body runs alongside the circulation system, but unlike the circulation system has got its pump as the heart. So the blood pumped by the heart, we need to do exercises because the heart needs that. But the lymphatic system relies on movement, which is why exercise or movement, some people don't want to exercise like going to the gym. I'm not one of those. But movement that you love, like dancing to music or dancing or other different, and even a long, long walk daily, well, as long as you can, is also very helpful. Movement is very important, whether dancing, whatever, swimming. And swimming has to be in water. Cold water, the better. Natural water is the better than swimming pools with chemicals. So water before coffee, we said anti-inflammatory plate, we already covered. So every day, every single day, we should be doing this. How much water should we drink? Anybody know? How much water should we drink in a day? Anybody? I'm not
Hi,
seeing.
it's Tamika. Maybe
Sorry.
half your body weight or at minimum 64 ounces.
All right. Thank you. Who was that? Sorry. Thank you.
Hi, Tamika.
Mika. Where are you speaking to us from?
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, in US.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Lovely. Well, you talking in ounces. I know that this is the same thing, I'm sure. 38 mils, if you want the formula, 38 mils for every kilogram of body weight, if you want to know what your daily requirements of water. So 38 mils times how many kgs is your body weight, you multiply those, you get how many liters of water. Roughly 2.5, 3, when it's very hot, up to 3 liters in a day. And to make it work more effectively, you can have some Celtic salt. When it comes to salt, the sea salt is best. And Celtic one is like unbleached and tempered with its natural. And you can just take a grain of that Celtic salt in your mouth before you drink your water. And never drink more than for some people it's half a liter, for some people a liter within 1 hour. And it's good to sip throughout the day as the thirst. Sometimes our hunger and thirst sensations get confused in the body when our bodies are dehydrated. So you need to, every time you feel hungry, first thing is to drink water and wait a bit, see how long before you need food. Because sometimes it's really you are thirsty, your body's thirsty and not hungry. Anyway, the next slide will show us the pure bristle brush, what they look like. Sorry, do you have that one on you, Nadia, or it's disappeared? Okay. Yeah, those are the brushes, and there's some come with a detachable, some might be fixed on that. The good thing about the detachable one is you can get somebody else to do your back or you can also reach other parts of your body. Always best to brush towards the next slide. You brush the technique, you brush towards the heart in motions that go towards the heart. This is the best diagram I could come across, and some areas you can do clockwise circular motions as well. So it's got the front and the back of a person there. But always towards the heart, and do that dry skin brushing for at least 5 minutes. Best thing in the morning on waking up, before you then shower. Then you go and do your hot and cold showering. And then the hot and cold showering you do 3 times, alternate hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, 3 times. It was coming under the dry skin brushing on the everyday health hacks. And you do that hot, cold, 3 times. Well, I mean, keep the as long as you can tolerate the hot, the cold, do it. The body loves cold water. It really does something. And that you're stimulating your lymphatic system and your circulation system. Then you end up with lukewarm water after doing it 3 times cycles. And then you can use your hands to kind of close down your valves around the body to wipe down away the water first before you then towel dry your body. So that is useful. I thought it's best for you to see it for yourselves. I can't demonstrate it on me. Yeah, the benefits of dry skin brushing are there, as I have already mentioned, and exfoliation, dry skin, improved circulation, prevents ingrowing hairs, lymphatic drainage, detoxification. Other benefits are it rejuvenates, it reduces appearance of cellulite, for those who have cellulite, which is accumulation of waste in different places. And relaxation is quite relaxing. When you get that as a daily habit, I do it like there's natural as breathing now. As soon as I wake up, I'm doing my dry skin brushing. It's good to do it early in the day before you get in the busyness of life. I'm going to rush through the next. Yeah, we normalize.
Got 5 minutes now. Yeah.
Okay. We normalize survival mode too often. We must shifting to thriving and not just building systems, develop supporting systems, track well, being and celebrate small wins. It's good to celebrate. Next slide, Naz. Right. This is a summary. Oh my goodness, in my haste, I missed out a U in nutrition. But anyway, nutrition, we aim for a newer start. This is an acronym I love, but anyway, later on, after, you can Google what is God's 8 laws of health. It's also called the 8 laws of health, or God's 8 laws of health. I've got newer start, the acronym, which is 10 laws of health that I have found very useful to remember what we need to do. So in the newer, N is nutrition. We have already talked about and polished as natural as possible, organic and whatnot. Because a lot of the farming methods now use a lot of pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, fungicides, all those damage our insides. So organic is best. Exercise, energizing, regular movement, water, elevation. This elevation, because the acronym used ends at new start. I found that elevation or escalation of self or expansion or growth is so important in yourself and your business. You can't be, if last year you were selling 3 cookies a week, next year you're gonna be still at 3 cookies a week. You should be way above that. So that's very important. We should always be striving to aim to do better than what we did yesterday, last week, last month. Our relationships, no business, no human being can do without healthy relationships, whether it's in your personal life, in your business. S is sunlight, and we talk about, people think it's sunshine that's important, but it's the light itself. When it hits our eyes early in the morning, that's why I said on waking, open your curtains and windows, let air and light in. T is temperance, which is moderation and avoidance of toxins. Toxins like smoking, drinking, for some people at all. For some people, drinking in moderation is fine. Whatever, we're talking alcohol there. Of course, avoiding drugs and unprescribed drugs. And some drugs, medications you have to take what's absolutely necessary and for only the time that is necessary. Fresh air, we've talked, in nature. Rest and restoration, trust in yourself and the higher power. Also, here is grounding yourself, going and standing might be on the next slide. Anyway, last slide gone. Yeah, well, Grounding is another new thing to some people, where you go and stand with barefoot on earth, Mother Earth. It's earthing. It's also called earthing. It helps us rebalance our bodies, focus our minds, and also it's good it's anti-inflammatory. It helps that. So, and success is not just what you build, it's how you feel while you are building it. Don't forget the process. Your well-being is not a side project. It's not a side hustle. It is your most strategic advantage. Next slide is your next steps now. Yeah. So yeah, next slide, Nadia, is just gonna show you my details, which is, that's my logo, golden wealth, health, and wealth combined. You got the health with the apple there and the money different. Your health is your wealth. Thank you for attending. My website is under review, so you won't get it. How to get hold of me is in the last bit. At the moment, as I said, my website is under review, so you can get me on all those. My email, marigold.katsande888@gmail.com. My phone number, my LinkedIn, just go to Marigold Katsande, the LinkedIn work. WhatsApp group, I've got a WhatsApp group. Is the best way. If you want to join this WhatsApp group, it's best way of me. I don't know if Nadia is able to copy the link for the WhatsApp group and put it in the chat for those who want to save it, because then you get to know what I'm doing. I'm working on podcasts and courses that will be going out soon, and also a book or two. Thank you very much. And if there is any questions, I don't know if we have time for that, but thank you. Okay.
So much. Thank you, Marigold. That's been really fascinating. I wonder if people have questions.
I can see 2 liters a day is very popular here, and it should be room temperature, not cold. We shouldn't be drinking anything from the fridge. How many practical nuggets? Okay, so many practical nuggets. Okay, thank you. Very encouraging chat here. I don't know if anybody has any question. You can still catch me, as I said, on those contact ways, different ways of contacting me. Instagram, social media, I'm not very active on at the moment because I'm working on a possible retreat happening in the new year. So, but I will be posting, on the WhatsApp group mainly, and maybe on Facebook. I haven't even put my Facebook thing because I've not been very active on it. I find it time consuming, but you can still reach me in any of these ways. LinkedIn is also very good. Thank you all. I know you know a lot more, and probably some of you know a lot more than what I've shared, but this gives us a gist of how we can cope and better and improve our health and well-being.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Marigold. That was fascinating. And there's so much honesty there, because if we're not feeling well, there's no way we can run our businesses well. So our health is the foundation. And this thing about, not waiting till burnout is absolutely true. Otherwise, we're already doing damage to the business before we try to fix it. So taking your advice and planning ahead and getting that making sure that we don't fall into that burnout trap is fundamental. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, whilst we've got you here, we've got just a few minutes before we wrap up. I wanted to tell you about the next event we've got going, and then I also wanted to get a chance for people to introduce themselves. Perhaps tell us one or two things that you are doing to manage your health, or something that you think you have learned today. And whilst you're introducing yourself, please tell us a lot about your business because this is key for us to understand what you do so that we can hopefully refer people to you. Maybe we can use you ourselves. Maybe, we can organize partnerships. So please be as elaborate as possible about what it is you do and the who you serve and where you are so that we have that knowledge and we can use it. And of course, please put your contact information in the chat so that, perhaps maybe if you can't talk or you're driving or something, or we can pick up your information that way. But before we start doing that, I just wanted to tell you all about the event that we're having next Wednesday. It is the very first of our fireside chats, and and those chats have been designed to speak with influential and impactful African role models. Um, and the whole point is to give us all an ability to see what is possible, and so we can also learn from somebody else's mistakes. And on Wednesday, we are honored to be hosting a powerhouse investor and an ecosystem builder who has been rewriting the rules of African venture capital. The lady we are talking to next Wednesday is called Maya Hogan Famadu. And Maya is the founder and managing director of Ingressive Capital. It's a venture fund that has become synonymous with high impact early stage investing across Africa. Part of her portfolio includes Paystack, which was acquired by Stripe for over 200 million. Carry First, that was backed by Sony and Google. And basically, the organizations she's backed have really delivered returns and impact. And the part that really aligns with us at Melanin Rich is that 40% of her portfolio features female co-founders, and 100% of the companies that she has invested in have indigenous, so African-based equity owners. She's investing in African startups, she's investing in African ownership, she's investing in African leadership and wealth creation. So on Wednesday, you'll have an opportunity to join us to find out more about how she has succeeded in her achievements so far and get her advice on what we should be doing and to grow our own business and what we need to watch out for in the early days. The link for that event is already in the chat. So please go in there, click on it, and sign up. I recommend that you sign up now because we have limited places. So that's going to be on next Wednesday. It's actually at 7:15 UK time, 7:15 in the evening UK time. I know not all of us are in the UK and our time zones are different. But to avoid confusion, I'll just say in one time zone. It's 7:15 in the evening UK time. So please sign up. Please tell your friends about it so you can share the link with others if you need to. But back to a very important part of this evening. It's about networking. It's about learning about each other so that we can do business with each other, so we can promote each other. So I'm going to go around now and ask people to introduce themselves. And we need your name, we need your business name, anything that you think you've learned from today, and anything that you think will be helpful for your business, please. So if I start with Nyasha Man Manjenga, and I
Thank
apologize if I got
you
that
very
wrong.
much. It's Nyasha Manjengenja. Thank you very much for a very informative session. My name is Nyasha Manjengenja. I'm a Zimbabwean based in South Africa, and I currently work in the human development sector. I am currently also pivoting my career more into women's health and working with women that are currently going through maternal health related challenges and providing support for them. So this has been very insightful into the kind of support that could help ground women as they navigate their maternal journeys. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Great to hear from you. Thank you. Thanks for joining.
Okay. I'll call on Sula next.
Oh, hello there. And thank you, Marigold, for an informative session.
Thank you.
I work in the natural hair space. I specialize in sister locks, a form of micro locks, and I'm also the inventor of something called Newbie Crown Locksmith Toolkit, which is a collection of tools for locking hair that I created during the lockdown, and I'm in the process of marketing those online.
Wonderful. Thanks for joining, Sula.
Thank you.
Brilliant sister locks person. She's very creative. And thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Sula. Great. Next on my screen is Moina.
Moena. Yes, pronounced Moena. Sister Moena, can you speak? She might not be.
Okay, maybe Moina's not able to speak. Next we've got.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, hi.
Hello there. Sorry, I forgot about the unmute. Hello, Marigold. Thank you so much. Some really good insights there, especially about having the boundaries. And that's what I find really helpful. So much. That was wonderful. I'm Moena McInnes, and I'm a writer and performer. So a lot of people, they might not have the skill to write their book, or whatever they want to produce. So I do ghostwriting. They give me the information and I write it for them. Like autobiographies, memoirs, stories, books. And I do proofreading and editing for anything someone's written. I'm a writer, all-round writer, and a performance poet. I've got a couple of books that I've done, and I need to get them up on the Amazon. And at some point I'll be running drama classes, and I'm in the UK, right here in the UK, London. And my business name is Fifth Step Creative. So I'll just put that in the chat now. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you,
Moena.
Moina. Yeah. Next on my screen is Temeka.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much, Marigold, for all of your information and your insights. My name is Tamika. I'm based in the United States here in Memphis, and I'm principal consultant of Effective New Creative Solutions. My specialization is brand development, marketing strategy, innovation consulting, and coaching. Specifically, I work with people who have done well in corporate and they're ready to pivot into their own business. So giving them that foundational structure and clarity of what they're doing in the early startup phase, as well as serial entrepreneurs who are in a pivot of some sort in their portfolio and looking to do other things. I think what really resonated with me with the presentation, Marigold, was you talking about your grandmother, and it resonated with me of my own wisdom with my grandmother, just things that I'm learning about what she would do, and I didn't understand it, but now it's becoming almost like a guidepost. She's no longer with us, but that really resonated. So thank you so much for sharing that. There's so much knowledge that we can get just from the women that have come before us in our own wellness. You can reach me on LinkedIn, but I'll also put my website and my email, and I'm always open to connecting and building community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much. Fantastic. Next on my screen, I've got Julia Chinombe.
Yeah. Hi. I don't have a business at all, but I am a retired adult health nurse. I've been invited to this session by my daughter, who knows Marigold very well. So I think I've met Marigold at one time, maybe once, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, it's such a good inspiration, Marigold. The session was really, really nice. I enjoyed it. It's such an inspiration for me as well. Like I said, I haven't got any business in line at all, but I've been thinking about what I could do. So these sessions are really good. Unfortunately, next week, the time is not conducive for me, 7 o'clock. But I would like to maybe know when after next week, you'll be having another session. So I would like to be there and listen to your sessions every now and again. Really, really good. Such an inspiration, Marigold. Thank you so much. And the young lady who's I can't remember the name. I think I saw the name. Ola, is it? Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you.
Are you
Yes.
Fadzai, the wonderful Fadzai's mom, by any chance? Is it?
Yes, I am.
Lovely.
Well, not so wonderful though, but
Yes,
I am.
I work with your young lady. You are blessed. Yes, thank you. She was brilliant carer. She was, back then. Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
thank
Thank you.
you. Earlier, she had to drop off, maybe. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you so much, Julia. Thank you.
Thank you, Ola.
Next on my screen is Joe Nanjanuri.
Hello, hi. It's actually not Joel. I just didn't realize that I'm using my church account. I know Marigold. We met at the retreat, ladies retreat in 2019. So I've been off WhatsApp for a while, and I just stumbled on a message. So I just thought I'll try and join. But I worked with a sister. I'm here in the UK, so I haven't got a business, but I just came to just support what Marigold is doing. So yeah, my name is Caroline
Caroline. Okay, Caroline, sorry if you don't mind. Yes.
Rumongwe.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, good. Yeah, all the best. Yeah, you will have a business one day if it's your wish.
Yeah, it's coming.
Definitely. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's everybody that's logged on at the moment. I know that we were about 20 at one point, but people have had to leave. Rama, is there anything that you would like to say? Rama is our Melanin Rich Business Development Manager.
Just to appreciate you guys for joining, and also Marigold, thank you for the insights. It was really amazing. The session was amazing. I've learned a lot. And also to encourage you guys to come to more of our events. I think there's a lady who spoke before the last lady. She was asking about our next event. So we'll be having smart branding in the age of AI on the 11th of December, same time. Yeah. So I'll just leave the link to secure your spot also on the chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You. Do you know, something came to my mind as it was jogged by seeing Sister Mowin about sleep, because I gave a talk recently on talking about overcoming stagnation. And sometimes in business, because you wait on other things to happen before you can get stuck, and your body reacts in a certain way. But there is naturopathy has ways of helping you to overcome that stagnation that happens in the body, because your body can stop working. And on sleep, I wanted to so mention that, if we sleep before midnight, every hour before midnight that we sleep doubles up as 2 hours. So ideally, if we go to bed at 10 o'clock, by midnight you've had 2 hours, and they become 4 hours. And then after midnight, it's just single hours that are. So we're supposed to be waking up at 4 a.m. for those who know how nature works. So yeah, you can get your 8 hours sleep by going to bed at 10 o'clock and waking up at 4 o'clock quite well, and wake up feeling refreshed. I really should have mentioned that. And also, one final thing, our body never ever goes against us. It always works with us. So every sign and symptom must be taken notice of and get to the root cause, and don't just bandage, put plaster on the top. Get to the root of the wound That's whatever is bothering your body. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That is absolutely true. We too much sticky plaster, too much, oh, I'll take a Panadol here, or I'll have a quick drink so I can fall asleep, and then I'll use coffee to wake up in the morning. It just becomes a vicious cycle. So yeah, um, love it very much, Marigold. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, for helping us. And I look forward to seeing all of us at our next event. And like I said, please register if you're not yet a member, register to be a member. And I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Thank you.
Much for having me. It's a privilege. Thank you. All the best to you all. Thank you.
Privileged to have you too. Thank you, Marigold. Really great.
Keep up the rich work you are doing. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.